Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Day 2 41mm in rose gold with a black Roman dial. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history, then talk to you about where this watch stands in the current lineup of other similar watches, then talk to you about the case bezel dial bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start. This is the Rolex Day 2. That's right, you heard me right, the Day 2. You might be wondering, what is the Day 1? The Day 1 is actually a 36mm, and the Day 2 is the 41mm, which is what you see here. It's actually the largest day date that Rolex makes. Currently, as of 2023, Rolex makes a day date 40, which is, as the name implies, 40mm. This one being the day date 2, as in the Roman numeral 2, it has a 41mm case diameter. Okay? Now, I told you I was going to talk to you a little bit about the history. The day date, which the name implies, has both the day, Monday through Friday, and the date 1 through 31 on the 3 o'clock position, is also known as the President watch because of the President bracelet, and also because it was worn by many presidents. It's been out for a very long time. I want to say something like 50 years or so. And it's one of the more complicated watches that Rolex makes. Not the most complicated, but one of the more complicated. Their most basic is time and date, with time and date only. Their time, date, and day is what you see here, and it's only made in precious metals. Okay? Now, around 2005, the only configuration of day date that you could get was in size 36mm. But at that time, the trend for larger, bigger watches was starting to appear, and Rolex wanted to keep up with the times and therefore created their first large day date. Instead of a 36mm, which was big at the time but is no longer big anymore, they came out with a Day 41, and at the time it was gigantic. It was a huge step forward and in size than any previous watch that they had done. Before that, all their dress line watches were all size 36. So this Day 41 was a lot larger. Now, they started making it from, I want to say, approximately 2005 until approximately 2015, a good 10-year run. And then they changed it from 41mm. They slimmed it back down, and I'll go through the differences when I talk about it. They slimmed it back down to Day 40, just 1mm smaller, but they just made it a little bit smaller. Okay, so that's where a little bit about the history. Let's talk about where this watch stands in the lineup of other similar watches. As I just told you, this is a discontinued model, the Day 2, that is 41mm, and it's been replaced by a Day 40, which was released in approximately 2015 and is still in production today as of 23. Now, it's the Day 2 is the predecessor to the current Day 40, and it's very, very similar, except for some minor things that I'll go through when I talk about each one. Now, this watch, when they released the rose gold versions of these day dates, they had many different variations. The black Roman, what you see here, is one of them. They had diamond versions of it. What others? A pink Roman. They had a pink Roman with a concentric circle, a black index. They even made a ruby, a chocolate Roman, chocolate wave, a white Roman, a lot of different variations. The variation that you see here is black Roman. Now, when they came up with the Day 40, the newer version of this, its successor, they also have some cool variations that they didn't have with the 41mm, such as the green Roman anniversary, or the Essenkissel, or the Pave diamond, or the Sundust baguette. They made many different variations. So not the same variations that are in the Day 40 are in the Day 2. So if you want black Roman dial, there actually is no current Day 40 that has a black Roman dial. So if you want a black Roman dial, this is the only option that you can get. So that would be maybe a reason why you would want to go with the older Day that you see here. And by the way, if you want to buy this watch, you can go to jazztime.com by clicking on the link in the description below. Okay, so now let's talk about the case. Now the case is what is actually different. It's 41 millimeters. That's from my thumb to my index finger, the longest distance across the bezel, the 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock position. And it's 41 millimeters. And it's made of rose gold. Now Rolex mixes their own gold in their gold foundries such that all their gold is going to stay ever rose gold, forever rose. That way, and they mix it all themselves, not surprisingly. Rolex being the premier watch brand in the world, it's unsurprisingly that they do all their own gold mixing in-house. Okay, that's the case, which is different from the new case. Now let's move on to the bezel. The bezel, of course, is going to be a larger bezel than the current one. And I want to tell you what the difference is between the current bezel, the bezel you see here, and the current production bezel. In the Day 2, the bezel is a bit bigger, thicker, just overall a little bit fatter. Makes sense because the watch is also fatter. It's not much. I wish I had a Day 2 or a Day 40 in front of me that I could show you. I don't. But we do have a comparison video online in YouTube. If you just Google Day 2 versus Day 40 and then look at any of the Jazz Time videos, you'll see a comparison. You'll notice that the bezel is a little bit thicker. So if you like a chunkier watch, well, then the Day 2 would be a good option. That's the bezel. And of course it is made of rose gold to match the rest of the watch. All right, let's talk about the dial here. And as I told you earlier, the dial is the last time that Rolex has made their day date of this size in black Roman. So if you like this black Roman, well, this is the only configuration that you could get it. And you'd have to go with the older model, which is what you see here. Although if you really insisted, we probably could make or custom do that dial for you on a Day 40. So that's something to think about. But yeah, it's a very nice dial. It's a black, as you see. I don't know why they didn't make it. Black seems like a very common color that most people would want to purchase. And I don't know why they didn't do that. But at any rate, it's black Roman. Okay, let's move on to the bracelet here. Now the bracelet actually is the same as the current rose gold bracelet. It's a president bracelet with semicircular links, and it does not have a comfort extension, but it does have a hidden clasp. So, and it's this thick bracelet. Now, some of the older versions of this had hollow links, which made it stretch. But with the new dates, that the modern ones that like you see in here, you'll have ceramic sleeves in between these links that hold it and allow it to maintain its shape so it doesn't sag or stretch over time. It's a really smart idea. Okay, let's talk about that has not changed between the old and new one. Now let's talk about the movement. Now the movement actually has changed. The movement in here that you see is a 3155 movement, and I have opened this one, but I don't have it open right now. The finishing on it, if you compare it to the newer version, the 3255, it looks more traditional. The new 3255 movement looks much more modern, and it has a longer power reserve. This one has a power reserve of, I believe, like 48 hours as opposed to 70. Now, there's nothing wrong with this movement. It's been around for a very long time. It does very well, and rightfully so. It's it's powering their most prestigious dress line. I'm not really sure there's much to say about the movement since you can't actually see it and it works perfectly fine. Okay, time for me to try this watch on and give my thoughts. So I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, the watch looks really good on me. And I really liked the Day 2s when they came out. I've always liked the President. I think the President watch in general is one of the best, it is the best dress watch that Rolex makes. That's just not my opinion. That's just what it is. Also by price, anyways, yeah. So it's a great watch, and I'll make the case for a larger watch. I like 40, but if you're a larger guy, let's say you have a wrist size of 7.5 inches or larger, you might not want a sleeker watch. You might want a heavier, bulkier, thicker watch, and the only option to get that in is the Day 2, so which is what you see here. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up, and if you like to buy it, go to jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.